Good morning, Big Brother fans. It's me, Mike, aka BB Gossip. It is Wednesday, August 21st, day 37 in the Big Brother house, and I am recording this via video as I hadn't done one for quite a while for my patrons. But obviously, for most of you, it's audio only. Don't worry, you're not missing anything other than watching me drive. And I've been doing 2 of these podcasts every day, and that was because a lot was going on, and I was also trying to shorten them. And then I did a 21-minute one last night, but that was partly because half of it was me talking about the new show that came out on Monday called The Anonymous. So if you want to hear me talk about that, you should go back to yesterday's and listen to me talk about it. Since yesterday, I've watched the second 2 episodes, and I'm into it. I'm enjoying it. I will be watching it all the way through. So that's kind of cool. As far as what's gone on in the Big Brother house since I talked to you yesterday, not a whole lot. That's why this one may not be that long of a CarCast this morning, because it's just, we're just waiting for Thursday. Matter of fact, I didn't really catch Brooklyn doing a whole lot last night. I think it was Dingo Hamster Watch that said we went from feast to famine as far as interesting feeds. Yeah, the feeds were really interesting and intense Monday after the Power Veto meeting. Intense as far as just a lot of talk going on, just a lot of discussion. And yesterday, while there was discussion going on, it just wasn't at the same level, and didn't necessarily feel like, oh, they're gonna do something or something's gonna happen. So, anyways. So what to talk about is the question, and all I can say is, yeah, I think it's still most likely Brooklyn's going to get evicted. I don't know if the push by Brooklyn to get the women to vote out Cam is going to work. I don't think Cam's doing much. I really don't. I don't know what his magic is that's keeping him in, other than Brooklyn is just seen as the one that everybody wants to get rid of. And it's not in a mean way. It's not a mean thing about Brooklyn. It's just, yeah, they just haven't synced. They just haven't clicked. I don't think she ever clicked in her alliance that well, it sounds like. So, yeah, I really think right now, as of today, right now this morning, that Brooklyn's the one to go unless she wins the AI competition. And if she does, and it comes down to Chelsea versus Cam, I think Cam would go. I think. But I can't even say that with 100% certainty. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to just wait and get a better feel of it today, probably. That's where we're at. So that's why I'm kind of like, I've been doing 2 a day. I talked for 15 minutes last night. And what do I talk about this morning that I didn't just talk about last night? But I can kind of touch on some topics. I touched on specifically on Tucker, again, on the whole Tucker targeting who he feels he can control. I'm not going to go through all that again. So what else can I look at? Oh, you know what? And I don't have it. And I was going to do it. Razor Skates put out their updated alliance list of which alliances, how everybody's shaping up alliance-wise. And I did not print it out. I was going to print it out so I could reference it, and I didn't. So there we go. There's another thing. In a normal recording session, I might pause this and try to pull it up on my phone and kind of glance at it, but we're not doing that today. We're just going to calling this as a relatively short morning CarCast and get it posted for you guys, which takes a little bit of extra work since I'm doing the video portion. And that's what we're going to do for the day. We're going to, call it. I did see that there's an upcoming 2-hour episode. I think it's a Wednesday episode, maybe, There's an upcoming 2-hour episodes, and there was talk about what it might be. There's your vague speculation on my part. I'm doing really good this morning, aren't I? I apologize. It is a beautiful Wednesday, but as far as Big Brother talk, we're kind of thin on the Big Brother talk as far as what's going on. The Robina Tucker situation. She was getting a bit jealous about Leah and Mackenzie being around Tucker. I mean, I'm pretty sure she knows that Leah has a crush on Tucker. Tucker is not reciprocative. He's not responding to that crush. He's pretty much playing it off. But I think Robina still doesn't like the idea of her being around Tucker alone or with Mackenzie. And she also has not gotten much alone time with Tucker. Remember, Tucker is pushing the whole angle of we're just like brother and sister. We're just like brother and sister. And so to keep up those appearances, they aren't spending a whole lot of time alone together. And they finally did get together last night for some alone time. Who knows what happened? The cameras were off. I don't know. It's certainly they certainly aren't making out. At least if they are, they're not showing it on camera very much. And they may be kissing lightly, but I don't think there's some, heavy duty stuff going on. But I don't know. It could be. We just don't know. And we may or may not know if they decide to show us, make a romance segment on camera. Of course, the problem with that is that we're subjected to their editing to determine how much is this real and how much is this them just selectively editing the clips. All right. What else have I got here? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I just looked at the camera like, I'm sorry. I'm running low on things to talk about today. I need to come up with some more topics. If you guys have questions, send them in to me. Tweet them at me. DM me on Twitter. Email ilovereality@gmail.com. Whatever you got, I would love to have some different subjects to talk about and to expound upon. Speaking of that, I did get a DM last night from someone. One of the questions I posted online, one of the random thoughts was that we haven't seen anybody vaping on the show, as in, the vape pens. And the smokers, I was like, we hadn't had a smoker in forever, and someone, again, reminded me, as makes total sense, that Derek from BB23 was a smoker. But if I remember right, he quit relatively early. And I wonder, I don't know, this is totally me only because I met Derek now, a few weeks ago in New York. And we took two pictures together at two different times. I didn't notice Derek smoking, but I didn't notice anybody smoking, right? It wasn't like, first of all, you can't smoke inside in New York. And second, he could have a vape pen and have stepped outside and do a quick puff. That's the thing. Vaping is just so much easier to hide. He could be vaping and I wouldn't know. So I don't know if Derek still smokes or vapes, but that was what my thought was. I thought, vaping is much more prevalent than it was up until just a couple of years ago. And I wonder if, what would happen if there's anybody that's been a smoker that has gotten through the process that they've been like, yeah, we're not going to cast that person because they smoke or they vape. Or if there have been people that are like, well, I vape, and they said, well, you're going to have to quit before you go in. And my understanding is, at least from one person who messaged me, is that there are still smokers getting it. I don't know when this particular person was applying. Maybe they told me and I didn't catch that when I was reading it. But someone who made it to finals recently, semi-recently, I'm assuming, was a smoker. And you know what? It was probably, now that I think about the context it was said, it was probably more than just a couple of years ago, because there was vaping around, but it was in the earlier days of vaping, and you only got, so much. And I understand how vaping works. I never have vaped myself, but I understand how it works. And you've got to have the liquid that you put in the little thing, and then you puff it. But that's all a lot smaller setup than a carton of cigarettes, right? You get 20 cigarettes in a pack, and once you use one, it's gone. That's 20 little, cigarettes. it's just a lot more compact. It would seem to me that someone could walk in there with a big old bottle of the vaping solution, and they could, load up their vape, which runs as, they're probably USB charging at this point, so you'd have to plug it in to charge. But they do have plugs, I think, in the house. I believe they do. They run their vacuum cleaner, and I don't think I don't think their vacuum cleaner is electric or battery powered. So they'd be able to charge something like that if they needed to. So yeah, I'm just wondering if someone ever vapes or what that option would be. So that was my thought. What I was going to get to was that someone mentioned that they had vaped and they had to wait for, they couldn't, I'm assuming they couldn't smoke in their hotel room, so they had to wait to get taken out to go smoking occasionally. So that's a stress right there, right? They were stuck and they could only go every certain amount of time. Hey, if you want to quit, that might be the way. But the problem is that's the amount of stress it adds to your life. So the point is, haven't seen any vapors. Don't know if it's even an option, but also haven't seen any smokers in the last 2 seasons. We did have one with Derek, but he was not a heavy-duty smoker. He managed to seem to get by only smoking occasionally, and remember, they're on several day lockdowns kind of things. And so, yeah, that's it. That's what I got for a Wednesday morning. I apologize again. I feel bad. I feel bad that I'm talking to you and I've got nothing specific to give you, but there just hasn't been a whole lot to pass on that is critical to the game. And so, yeah, hope you guys are doing well. We'll talk to you this afternoon. That's the thing I know. I'm going to fill you in this afternoon on whatever happens today. Or it'll probably be, it's going to be one of 2 things, as I said last night. It's either going to be early afternoon or very much later in the day, depending on when I have a chance to pop on and record. Unless something big happens, and maybe I'll do both. But I'm going to be going out to dinner, and that will involve a lot of driving with my spouse, and I don't want to subject her to me talking about Big Brother. I try to avoid that at all costs because she's just not that big of a Big Brother fan, as you all have heard multiple times. All right, with that, I'm going to sign off. Wish you a happy Wednesday. Hope your day is less hectic than mine is probably going to be. And again, any questions you might have, by all means, please send them to ilovereality@gmail.com or tweet at me or DM me privately. I can keep a secret if I'm told it can't be passed on, or I can rephrase it in such a way that it doesn't give any identifying information. Not that I've ever had to worry about that either, right? Yep. All right, folks, that's it. Now I'm out. Bye. Take care. See you later.